Please, you can miss me without that bad energy. Raise my vibrations to where you can't touch me. Third eye open, I can see what you can't see. Black salt, black candles, firewalls, they stand at ease. Put my protection on me before I go outside. Maintaining vibes in life, cause death is on the rise. Kundalini ain't the only thing that must awaken side. Free your mind, free your mind. Ascension, got to come up higher, come up higher. Don't let the third dimension pull you down. Ascension, gotta come higher, come up higher, baby. Don't let the third dimension pull you down. Hoodoo, voodoo, John the Conqueror will do. Holy water from the boot, that will do too. Whatever you're trying to manifest, go ahead, do you. You just make sure your ancestors part of your crew. Tarot cards and crystal balls only add to your power boost. They don't make you, yeah. Y'all remember my song? Got to come up higher, baby. Don't let the third dimension pull you down. I'm saging y'all negative ass bitches. Got to come higher, come up higher, baby. Don't let the third dimension pull you down. I ain't got no sweet sage. I got rue, pine, and regular sage. Hoodoo, voodoo, Jana, conquer, rue will do. That holy water from the boot, that will do too. Y'all remember that part I said? Whatever you trying to manifest, go ahead, do you. You just gotta make sure your ancestors part of your crew. Tarot cards and crystal balls only add to your power, boo. I'm telling y'all remember that? And don't make you. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I hope y'all been doing all right. I had to take a little time off. Hey, what up, yo? 4:44 is 3:13 in London. Sweet release. I don't know why I like that song. Kevin Ross. He got one part that it says like, I go crazy for ya, I get militant. I like that part. That man say he get militant for his woman. I go crazy for you, I get militant. I think I'm gonna end up doing a so what's up, y'all? Some of y'all who can't sleep. Looking out across the nighttime. The city winks and sleepless eye. See that girl? She knows I'm watching. I'm sweet seducing sighs. And you say why? Don't judge me. That's my daddy. What you doing that way? No matter what, tell me why. Ooh, tell him. What you doing that way? Like maybe. I'm still hoarse. I don't even know why I'm attempting to even sing that song. Giving me that. So let me say this, y'all. I'm really bullshitting singing to y'all right now. But let me just be real. So first of all, I want to say let me apologize, but I'm not, because there's really nothing to really apologize for. But just in case, let me apologize. Yeah, there is something to apologize for. I want to apologize, not last night, but the night before last, when the lights went out. There's a chain of storms that is coming in. We had a storm today. We had a storm yesterday. We had a storm the day before. We had a storm the day before that. We got storms all week long. I want to say a couple of things before I start digging in stuff. First and foremost, God, always guide my tongue. Put a hedge around my heart. I want to be led by your spirit. I represent you. I'm a literal ambassador to this earth. Help me to recognize everything that you are calling me to recognize within. The same for my viewers. May they all come into the knowledge of what light and love really is, and to balance the shadow and the darkness thereof within, so that we can live in perfect harmony within ourselves. Therefore, it can translate into the outer world. Thank you for your angels and all guides across all space and time that is meant for our greatest good. In the name of love, in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. I need to apologize for giving the enemy too much power the other night. I'm not saying that that's what caused the lights to go out, but I am fully aware that people were watching it live. People have been looking into the weather, trying to see when they can send certain things. Last week, somebody sent an old hag spirit to try to put a energetic apple in my mouth. That's what y'all motherfuckers is really about to get. Cause this is what came in for me. I got this. This is what happened to me night before last. I had been listening to the rains. I've been dealing with this. Relearning this. I got a confession. I have a confession. Oh shit, Miss Tanya. what I fear, what I've learned during this eclipse energy, this Pluto retrograde, Mercury retrograde energy, what I fear is not outside of me. That's the truth. What I fear is not outside of me. Two things. I remember as a little kid, Michael Jackson is really my first love. You really want to know the truth. I fell in love. That was the first man I ever fell in love with. Not my daddy, not my earthly father. Michael Jackson was the first man that I ever fell in love with. I remember when I was a little kid, I was about 4 or 5. I told my mama, "Mama, I'm going to marry him when I grow up." I remember when I used to watch these documentaries and stuff come on 60 Minutes. And y'all remember when the documentaries came on TV? When the news did the documentaries? Y'all remember that? Yeah, so I used to watch those, right? 60 Minutes and all this other shit. And I remember watching them having to like shut down a whole supermarket just so the man could shop to feel normal. And I just remember saying to myself, that's got to be miserable as fuck. To be the most famous and recognized man in the whole entire multiverse, but can't even go to the store in peace. I was intrigued, but I low-key was like, I know he's suffering because he can't be normal. I mean, he wasn't normal. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't normal. He was not a normal man. And man was not from here. Two things I fear the most. And one is not outside of me. The other I fear would be a reflection on what's on the inside of me. I felt like one of my fears is I keep feeling this She-Hulk energy in me. Y'all, I'm doing a live. I keep feeling this She-Hulk energy on the inside of me. And I feel like I'm scared of her because I don't know. My second fear is being so well known that I wouldn't be able to go to the store anymore. That's a fear of mine. That's some crazy shit. I'm serious. That's a real fear of mine. A lot of times we ask for certain things. To be recognized by people that you've never seen in your life has to be scary. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's around you. I don't know. So I'm going to start treating every live like a diary, like a documentary. I don't care if I'm pulling cards or not. I don't care if I'm reading the Bible or reading cards. I don't care if I'm praying or I'm cussing. I don't care if I'm dancing to ancestral music or twerking. I'm going to treat this shit like a documentary. Something I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's a revelation that is arriving. And sometimes I fear that I will miss the days of what I call normality. I don't know. You ever get like that sometimes where you don't start feeling human anymore. You just start feeling like really otherworldly. I mean, you're in your body, but you just don't feel like you quite fit in. I mean, that's the story of my life, but something is just different. And you know, after a while, you know how it clicks back into like you feeling normal. And then you're like, okay, that was just yesterday. It hasn't clicked back over for me yet. And I'm looking for it to. Just hasn't done it yet. And I just keep feeling like I'm going deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole. As this suction that I just can't fight. Anyway. What day of the week were you born on? For those of you who are born on Tuesdays, you are a child of Mars. You will always be protected, and you also are supposed to learn how to do protection. Can I ask y'all a real question? And I do mean like a real question, especially for those of you who can't go to sleep. What do you really believe in? What is real to you? Do you believe in ghosts and ghouls and goblins? Do you really believe that dragons exist? Unicorns and fairies? Do you believe in teleportation and other portals and worlds? What do you believe in? Gemini season. The Lover's card, number 6. The decisions of man, choices. All roads still lead to Rome. that's the collective advice for the next 7 to 10 days. Boy, man, I never thought I could keep so many secrets in my damn life, my blessed life. Now, ain't that something? I usually don't have cards that are reversed in my deck. My nose is itching. Here in the South, we say somebody want to talk to you, somebody want to kiss you. We usually say somebody want to kiss you. Sad embrace is reversed. Flying is reversed. Magic stream is here. Moonlight is here. There she goes. My companion for this season is the... Hey, mamas. Magic stream. Stepping into the stream. If you look in the background, this waterfall here is actually a portal. At least I would like to think so. I'm going to read these things to you so you can hear what it says. Okay? Magic stream. Everything is connected through the universal flow of consciousness. Every experience you have seen to have has its own life story with a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end. However, there is danger in seeing events as separate from one another, since in fact they are all a part of a continuum and a greater evolution. Excuse my burp, sorry. Didn't want to be disrespectful. Like an ever-flowing magic stream, your experiences filter through the whole world, one leading into another, informing and influencing still more. Inspiration, invention, and revelations rarely come to just one person. The collective awareness is a shared storehouse of potential. When you remember you are a part of the fluid continuum of life, you become a channel for great inspiration. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. Your success will benefit many. Okay, let me stop right there. I gotta be honest with y'all. I'm a little drained. I just heard somebody say, why you come on a live then? Hello to everybody who's leaving and coming. This is going to be extremely important for some of you who like to lie to yourselves. I just heard somebody say, uh-oh. You lie to yourselves. You like to look in the mirror and make it seem like everything's fine. it's not, you will not be able to make it out of Mercury retrograde alive until you are honest with yourself. And I ain't talking about no physical death, though that may be on the table for, depending on who you are, what side of this chess board you're on. Spiritual death. This Mercury retrograde has been, and this Pluto retrograde has been whipping my ass. Magic stream. One of the reasons is I can feel some of y'all trying to read cards on me. Just trying to be nosy. I want y'all to see what you're looking for. I want y'all to be met with the most scariest angelic face you've ever seen. Not what the movies told you angels look like, but what they really look like, which is extremely scary. As soon as you pull that first card, I want you to see what you can't unsee. Because you just will not stop trying to pierce into my life. That ain't just for me. There's a lot of people just trying to... Some people say, why are you worried? Let them... Okay. Sometimes it's hard to get on these lives and not say what I really want to say. For the sake of whatever. Keeping secrets. I used to be, y'all remember when we used to go into Behold the Pale Horse? And I used to say to myself, after I would do those lives, I used to say to myself, why is the government so quiet about alien invasion or the knowledge of aliens and all this other stuff? Like, I used to be angry, like, why in the hell are they so quiet? Until I found out what I know now. It's funny how you don't have any respect or understanding until you are on the other side. And then things don't quite look so bad after all. I understand now both ends of the spectrum. There are a lot of things that if we knew in its entirety, it would fuck the matrix up. Some of you say, that's what we want. I don't know if that's what you really want, because I think it would wholeheartedly fully press us into living a certain kind of way after that. The monarchy, as you know it, is a magic stream. Magic stream. Let me just say this. One of the best tactics to use is to take one thing and use that to cover up something else. Like, what if the royal family was being used to actually hide a real royal family? That just was hidden in plain sight. Who told you that the Bible was finished? Who? Who told you that the Bible was finished? Because you read in Revelations, the last chapter and the last verse. Who told you that it's finished? The characters of the Bible still exist. I want you all, in the next, within the next 6 months, as we cross the threshold of summer, and as school starts back up and the summer months turn into fall, I want y'all to pay very close attention. Not to the headlines of the news, but to what scrolls at the bottom. I don't want y'all to pay attention to international news anymore. I want you to start getting your newspapers, your local newspapers, and reading them closely. Because it's not going to be the international news that you're going to be having to pay attention to. It's going to be your local and your statewide. We said the book of Eli. It took how many times for some people? It took a lot of times for them to realize that Denzel Washington was playing a man who was blind, and that the actual moral of the story of the book of Eli was to actually walk by faith and not by sight. He did not have his physical sense of sight. Therefore, he had the strong sense of intuition and discernment, psychic-like, if you will. Everything else that he had left in his senses, physical senses, was heightened by his sense of discernment and intuition. When he gave them the book, eventually they got the book and they found out it was Braille. Sorry for some of you who have not seen the book of Eli, whatever. They was like, what is this? When he got to his destination, the scribe sat there with a blank book ready to rewrite the Bible. And he said, in the beginning was the Word. My God, this thing is so emotional. The Word of God says, for I've hidden your word in my heart so that I may not sin against thee. He gave them the Bible. Listen to me, y'all. Listen, you run that movie back in your head. Run that book of Eli back in your head. Eventually, he gave them the Bible that they were seeking his life after. But they couldn't read it because it was in Braille. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. That's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Even though we're in Gemini season, which is air energy, God is saying, plant your feet firmly on the ground, anchor yourself. He's causing for us to be in nature like never before because we're getting ready to take flight like never before. Supernatural abilities is getting ready to be enhanced. And every tear we've cried in the seasons that we just came out of, I don't care if it was today or yesterday, seems like that's getting ready to be our last tear, y'all. Because I'm going to tell you something. Let me see what's at our feet. Yeah. Look at that. Movement like never before. Let's see what's crowning us. Did I say book? Look at them books. 5, hidden your word in my heart so that I may not sin against thee. The metaphor is this. This is not about race, but I gotta say this. It began with us. It's gonna end with us. This is why melanated people, so-called black people, that's why we gonna always be underneath a heavy judgment. Because you still have not discerned fully who you really are. Jesus Christ is here already, walking the earth. Son of Man is already here. Incognito, but already here. I remember walking the halls of a mentee. I remember holding my torch, walking through the narrow passages of the pyramids, hearing the rumblings on the outside. I remember the gateway in between worlds. I remember looking up at the purplish blue night sky, clear night, stars out. I remember the lifting off of the starship. And I remember as I watched it go up into the air, I felt abandoned. As to say, wait, why are you leaving me here? Take me with you. Begging to go home. I've hidden thy word in my heart so that I may not sin against thee. He turned over the Bible in Braille because not only did he know they were not going to be able to read it, he knew that even if they came across somebody who knew how to read Braille, this Bible written in Braille would not even do them any justice, because they would not have known how to truly harness the true power of the Bible. This he was sure of. The ending of the movie of the Book of Eli is actually the beginning of the movie. He sits down and he begins to regurgitate the Bible off the dome. Memory. Memory alone. He memorized that Bible. I almost, because the movie is called the Book of Eli itself, I'm almost willing to bet, and is almost sure, that somewhere hidden in that movie, it probably points and hints to us that he didn't just remember the 66 books, that he was more advanced to remember even the hidden books that were taken out. After all, it is named the Book of Eli. It ain't the Book of Isaiah. It ain't the Book of Psalms. It ain't the Book of Daniel. It is called the Book of Eli. You know, Eli is prefix of the name Elisha, Elijah. Another one that we don't really talk about is Eleazar, which is a high priest, Levitical priest, dedicated to the worship of God, going into the holies of holies. I'm going to tell you something, y'all. You true the RNA must awaken. It is already awakened. Your cellular DNA responds to every full moon, every new moon, every eclipse, every retrograde. It can't no longer. Some people's evolution is inevitable. For I've hidden your word in my heart so that I may not sin against you. He said, lo, I will be with you always, even into the ends of the earth. Does the earth have the end? Yeah. The edge? Yeah. Is that why they have the Antarctic Treaty? Yes. Is Antarctica bigger than what they're telling us? Yes. Is there greenery there instead of just nothing but ice? Yes. I believe I dreamed about the land of Antarctica, and I seen green pastures and animals that quite look like goats or lambs, but it was something different about them. It was more of a pure race of something. These big, big, big juicy fruits. Fruits, huge fruits. Plums that are huge, and tomatoes that are huge. And I'm talking about real fruits. Fruits that when you eat them, they're medicine. You hear me? Real live medicine. Talking about like you could be having something going on with your body and you just eat this fruit and it actually heals you. Untainted. We're living in a day and age where things are hidden before our eyes. People who look like people ain't real people. People who clarify moonlight. Clarify moonlight. Bone collector. I heard somebody who'll give a bone, take a bone. Be careful. But that's really not me saying be careful is not what this card actually means. I'll read it to you. Bone collector. It's an old woman reclaiming lost and stolen powers. The bone collector. You are whole and having everything you need within. That's what that is. You look closely at the circumstances to see if you're fully present or reacting out of past conditioning. Whenever we're wounded, especially when we're young, it's as if something essential is stolen from us. We adapt and accept a particular version of the truth that sets us up to behave a certain way in the future when faced with a situation that reminds us of the original event. What we knew about ourselves thus becomes influenced by perception of limitation. You may feel unworthy or without courage. You may see yourself as flawed or unlovable or expect to be criticized. No matter what your question, the bone collector reminds you that the truth is that you are a powerful being with limitless possibilities. She has kept safe what was stolen from you in the wounding, and it's here for you as you reclaim it now. Let me stop right there. The Moonlight card. The Bone Collector is what clarifies the Moonlight card, and I was told to do this. I want to say about 2 weeks ago now. I'm going to do it now on this live. Those who want to participate, you're more than welcome. Whatever you want to call this, ritual, ceremony, prayer, whatever. God, universe, source, love, across all space and time. I call back every fragmented soul of mine to me. I'll call back every fragmented soul for your children back into your children. Help them to reclaim parts of themselves that they may have lost in the fire. The fires of life, the trials of life, the tests of life, the happenings of life, the pains of life, whether it's pain or birth pangs. Give us back those precious pieces that broke off in order for the rest of us to be saved. Help us to heal this inner child with great speed, lightning speed. Help us to not keep repeating hard-headed decisions that we keep making. Help us to stop doing the same thing over and over again that ends in heartbreak and heartache. I humbly ask you to restore the fragmented pieces so that we can be fully whole again. Every spiritual shaman that is assigned to us, I now ask you to help us. Help us gather those fragmented pieces of our soul so the child can be whole again. I don't know if we need to know or not. Whether that's important, I don't know. Doesn't matter, I don't know. I just want to be made whole. And I know that a lot of your children agree the same. Make us whole. We call back pieces to ourselves. It is so. Righteously so. I want to see what this shaman oracle is saying. Coming into your power, the sorcerer. At your feet is the blade. Calling your power and then wielding it respectfully. Yeah. What's crowning you is the gatherer. That shaman is, and that's what I seen when I was praying. So be it, non-reversible. North, south, east, west. This is like the medicine wheel of friends. This is called the circle. Knowing that you have spiritual help, you're being aided. I just heard aided and abetted. 6. There goes that Gemini energy here. The gatherer. The harvester. I'm hearing Christmas came early. Clarify the sorcerer card. Yeah. Which is here in the Americas, by the way. Tree of life. That's fucked up. You know what I just heard? I'll tell you. It's a secret, though. Okay? So, be careful. That tree that they cut in Wyoming, and the tree stump they now call the Devil's Tower, which I don't like that term for that. Tree stump they call a mountain, which was a huge tree. What I like to call the Gaia tree, or the tree from Avatar, that movie. They cut it down because they thought that tree was the tree of life. No. She's hidden. She will always be hidden. I see her. I may not know where she is, and I don't want to know, but I know she's still alive. And praise be unto God for her. does still exist, and she's living. Yeah. We're in the air season. I heard the colors of the wind. Pocahontas energy. The hawk. The hawk may be of significance at this time. I'm hearing Ra, Amun Ra. Yeah. Birds are going to be being put on display like none other. I heard God is tired of people pleasing. People pleasing. This is exactly how I seen her, the tree of life. I promise you. She's in safe. She's being kept safe so that the powers that be won't hurt her. I can see when a particular person is peering. I can feel you lurking in the shadows, by the way. It's kind of, I hate to say this, but it's kind of gotten normal at this point. I'm like, okay, this motherfucker's over here like the shadow, okay? What else is new? I almost want to turn and say, you want something to eat? Like, when your intuition is calling you and leading you into places that may not make sense, may not be logical, your hunches is getting ready to be on target. Intuition is getting ready to be heightened like never before. No time to second guess. Before we spoke languages, we spoke symbols. Spidey senses is getting ready to tingle like never before. This sad embrace reversed. Talks about one suffering loss and not being trapped by the ego. Trying to see if I can share something with y'all. I just don't like people being in my business here in this house, by the way. Just kind of recently went through a little loss. Unfortunate. Well, I'm gonna say it like this. We have to be careful what we wish for. We have to be careful what we wish for because I'll give you an example. I was a couple months ago. I asked for something. I was not extremely specific because in my heart I felt like I was desperate for it. And when I say desperate, I'm not talking about life or death. I'm talking about fed up with that present moment in need of change. Okay, I'll tell y'all. I'll tell you from Um, I prayed for companionship, right? I'm gonna be I'm gonna be extremely naked. Cause what I'm getting ready to say next, some of you's getting ready. Some of y'all need to hear this. I heard I'm about to be the talk of the town. I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. I don't care. God willing, God protect me. That's all that matters to me at this point. Keep my heart and protect me. I want to be an example. I met this guy January. We met back up again at a gas station March. He really didn't recognize me, but I recognized him because his voice was the first thing that I heard. It's a very distinctive voice. Interesting voice, by the way. Uh, I almost said his voice was dark skinned. Y'all, please forgive. Like, what do I mean by that? When I say his voice sounded dark skinned. Uh, heavy New Orleans accent. Very deep voice. I don't know what it is. I've always kind of been hypnotized, yet um, somewhat afraid of a man who has a deep voice. I can't really explain it, but it almost feels like thunder when a person like that talks. And, and I notice sometimes men who have those type of voices, they must have been told something in their life about their voice, because I noticed that sometimes they speak in a higher pitch on purpose, depending on what the conversation is, to seem less threatening. I'm just I like to analyze. Thank you, Benita. So, 4224, if anybody who wants to look up that angel number. I'm still pulling cards, by the way. I'm just being a little transparent. So, I asked for companionship right before I met up with him again. He popped up in my human mundane mind, I would say out of nowhere. Not a bad guy. Not a bad guy. None of us truly are bad. If you really want to know the truth, none of us truly are bad. That's a nugget for some of you who needed one, a jewel. None of us are really truly bad. It's all about perception. We started hanging on and off. And we started hanging real tough. And I recently had to separate myself from him because the truth is, I noticed the pattern. And the truth is, I in hindsight, is 2020. I think now looking back, neither one of us was being truly authentic for the sake of ruffling feathers. I was way more of a straight talker than he was. Both the same sun sign, which I still believe Libras are the devil. I still believe Capricorns are the devil. And I'm starting to think most Aquarius people are the fucking devil as well, but that's another story. And Capricorns are still in there too. Did I say Capricorns? Okay. You Sagittarians, I ain't forgot y'all either. So we had a second disagreement. This disagreement, I'll say it like this. You know how when some people put up a facade to keep from feeling pain, in turn, that facade that they put up, that facade is actually making things worse, because what they should really do is just face it. So instead of sitting in your hurt, you put up I'm gonna just do me. Or I'm gonna do this. Hey, it ain't no thing. Hey, it is what it is. Okay. When you get disrespectful, that's when I gotta put my foot down. There was some disrespect that popped off. Nevertheless, neither here nor there. I felt like we was both in the wrong. Because the truth is, I know that he was more invested than I was. Ladies, I'm sorry, but I gotta say it. This is where I gotta be vulnerable. I'm gonna say this just for the sake. I'm sorry if my brutality or my willingness to be vulnerable right now offends some of you. But I can't be sorry, because this is going to help somebody somewhere across some part of space and time, because I know I just didn't go through this just for me. I prayed for a companion. I prayed for a soulmate. That's what I got. We have to understand two things, okay? Number one is the most valuable thing, but most obvious thing. God answers prayers. God does answer prayers. Number two, I'm going to say this against the advice of the Oracle and Tarot community. And the reason why I say this is because this is getting ready to be real taboo. Do not pray for a soulmate expecting a love interest to show up. She said it. Yes, I said it. I know that was dramatic, right? I don't give a damn. I'm a dramatic woman. I don't like drama, but I'm dramatic. The reason why I say don't pray for a soulmate expecting a love interest to show up, because a soulmate does not, the road of a soulmate does not necessarily lead to a lover. A high level soulmate, yes, you have more of a chance 90-something% of that person being more of a lover to you than anything. But I already have a high level soulmate in my life. And that high level soulmate is my own cousin. That's one of my high level soulmates that I grew up with, who was like my brother. So even that doesn't always necessarily lead you to a lover. Can you have more than one high level soulmate? Yes, you can. But just because somebody is a soulmate does not mean that's supposed to be a love interest. He, in the beginning, was more attracted to me than I was to him because, and that's just natural with me. I don't immediately get into the physicality of a person, especially a man. Like, it's another thing. I honor everyone's beauty, male and female. I am not a lesbian. I am not bisexual. However, I do honor the beauty of a woman's body. I think the curves of a woman's body is beautiful. I'm not that woman who's ashamed to say, damn, she fine or she's gorgeous. I think that a woman honoring another woman's body from a place of honesty and purity is probably one of the highest gifts of worship one goddess can give to another. I am willing to give that gift. However, it's something about a man. When I look at a man, I don't look at him outwardly, though that does play a part in attraction. We're not gonna say and lie. I do look at a man's soul. I'm a cellular, not cellular, but I'm a cellular woman. I breathe a little different than most. Them two F's. I don't like them two F's when they go together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you fucked up in your heart, but you got good dick. That ain't something you want to mix together. You know what I'm saying? God was giving out dick. They just kept getting in the line, wouldn't get out the line. But then, like, when God said courage, heart, willingness, compassion, love, the niggas was just over there in the corner, like, having conversations and drinking punch with Satan before Satan fell. Like, yeah, we ain't trying to do none of that. We don't like none of that. So you was in the dick line. You kept getting in the dick line. God will bless you. You kept getting in that line. But then when it came to character, you didn't get in the line at all, right? Or you just kind of skipped in and like, okay, God, just gonna breathe over me. Okay, like it didn't matter. Yeah, I ain't with that bullshit. That's a little bit too much for me. What I mean by that is, this man was not, in my humble opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe everything that happened was meant to happen. Looking back, I don't really know if I should have been dating him or not, because we were dating. We were dating. And the reason why I say that is because now looking back, I feel like I should have friend zoned him. Have y'all ever got to a place where y'all kind of regret not friend zoning somebody? Like, you kind of wish you would have never crossed the threshold of, like, thinking that somebody's, like, in your mind that, hey, let me see where this could go. Yeah. Because eventually people show you who they are, you know? And like I said, he's not a bad person. He's not. He wasn't a bad person. It's just people will show you who they are. The dense part of them, the light side of them. You get to see how people operate. And you get to, listen, by choice, you get to choose whether or not you want to participate in the way that they love and live. And I'm not willing to participate in the way that he loves and lives, because certain parts of the way that he loves and lives, I've been delivered from. This is the most important part of my story, because we remember we're in Gemini season. I had been battling with the guilt of letting him go and cutting him off. I kept asking myself, was I wrong? I feel bad. Man, did I make the right decision? You know how we do. We ask ourselves these different questions and we beat ourselves up. Especially those of you who actually have a fucking heart and cares about other people's hearts. Let me speed it up along here. Today I came to this conclusion. When I left that marriage last year, and I realized how much I have survived without even knowing that I was really and truly in the fight for my life. I had vowed to myself, and I felt like God had been testing me this whole time, and it wasn't really until today that it clicked for me. I vowed that when it came to toxic situations, no matter how deep the toxicity ran or how covert the toxicity was, that once I found out about anyone's toxicity, that if I had to make a choice between being in a relationship for comfortability's sake and not being alone, or being single and healing and being in good health, that I was going to choose me every single damn time. And I meant that shit with my chest. And this weekend that just passed, when I looked that man in his face and I told him, you will not ever speak to me like that again. Not only did I stand my ground, he came back. He came back. He apologized. And I forgive him. I forgive him. I can't open my heart back up to somebody I don't trust. Because if you can talk to me like that before and you don't check your ego, if you can't fully check your ego, like, for example, we're all different people, right? We all got different fingerprints. No one has the same fingerprint. So you can't really expect people to act like you in the heat of the moment. But this is what gets me. I often will study you and how you respond under pressure, how you respond while you are in an angry energy. Because how you react right then and there in that uncomfortability will let me know if I can trust you with my heart and my life. If you're the kind of person that easily gives over to ego and start talking reckless out the side of your mouth, Sayonara, my nigga. Bye. Deuces. Peace out. Arrivederci. Mozzarella and the fettuccine. Parmesan. Reggiano. And Gouda cheese to you. I'm not sticking around to see the end result. Period. Point blank. I have came too far to settle. Period. Now let me tell y'all something. This man was a sweetheart. Of course. There were some things that I experienced with him that I had never experienced with another man. Gentleman, kind, but it wasn't until we were tested. How well do you deal with disagreements? How well do you deal with pressure? Do you black out and forget you talking to another human? Will you not hesitate to take a nigga head off in the heat of a moment? I watch all of that. Shit I'm not willing to repeat, you understand? Oh. Dry desert reversed. I'm going to go as far to say being brought to an oasis. I heard a high place. A high place. Dig for deep inspiration and truth. Now's the time. Now's the time to become resilient. Something about a mirage. When it's reversed, it's a warning to not be hypnotized into thinking you will achieve your desire. The well is empty. Consider the gift here, though, that while this is not the right place, person, or circumstance for you at the moment, it means something much better, more fulfilling, and life-sustaining is coming. Celebrate the warning and be grateful. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. Me having to learn how to celebrate the warning and be grateful. Because I realized I was hurt. I was hurt because I got a little comfortable. I got comfortable with certain things that I was experiencing with them. And it wasn't sexual stuff, y'all. Don't let your mind run. It was little things. You know what I'm saying? We often forget how it feels for a man to actually stare at you, compliment you, say nice things. And I'm not talking about getting carried. Any man can do that. I'm talking about having enough discernment to know when a man actually is speaking truth. Some men will say that to charm you. And you know us Libras, we are charming. And some men actually say those things to really say what they mean. And I really do believe that this man was saying what he meant. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So I'm learning, y'all. Look at this. I swear to y'all, I don't know how these cards is reversed, baby. The come together card was reversed. Y'all, I promise y'all, I don't know how this been happening. Perhaps a love connection is unbalanced. Is intimacy being withheld from you, or are you withholding it from another? Longing and yearning are often mistaken for love when in fact they are signs of lack. Perhaps you've been doing all the emotional work and pouring your water into an empty well to the point that now you are also depleted. Know this: true love will not be denied of you. I'm sorry, y'all. That's not what I meant. True love will not be denied of you. What is truly for you will never walk past you or require this much energy. Drop the agendas, the fight, the need to win, and allow love to flow through you. True love will always find its reflection in another. That's what I mean. I'm telling y'all, these cards is coming out exactly the way that I'm speaking. I had to be honest because even though, I'm going to be honest with y'all, this is the most important part that I'm getting ready to say. Remember when I told y'all earlier, be careful what you pray for, because I'm coming to a close. I'm going to clarify this sad embrace reverse card. I'm not going to do it right now. As I'm coming to a close, it's going to be my close. I had been analyzing our friendship, our situationship, our little friendship, because we were kind of on the cusp. I personally didn't want to label anything because I'm just not ready for no damn labels. Not with him anyway. I wasn't ready for no labels. Not a bad looking man either. Not a bad looking man. I like the fact that he was country as fuck though. Not doing country is all traditional. Really respectful. It's just that, in the heat of the moment. And we're allotted to be human. Y'all don't think that just because somebody get loud with you or because y'all going back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're human. Things are going to happen. You have to learn forgiveness. Because you may be the one to go off the handle and that man just be looking at you like, And I was the one who usually keeps my cool in situations like that. Because you have to really press me hard for me to go the fuck off. And he was just going off, and I was just kind of looking at him like, and at one time I had to ask him, bring him down there, who are you talking to? Then I see him, he caught himself, but then he let himself go back again. I was like, listen. And then, he kind of, but then when he went off that last time, I was like, oh, you ain't going to ever get the satisfaction of talking to me like that ever again. Anyway. And the only reason why he was talking like that is because that's his defense mechanism. He didn't want to hear what I was getting ready to say, which was, we need a break. We need a fucking break. This whole lesson taught me that chemistry and gelling with somebody on a particular level is not enough. It's not. I felt like that thing him and I had was unrequited. There wasn't enough chemistry between him and I to keep that thing going. Because though he was fully into me, I couldn't quite get into it. And I kept asking myself, am I really ready? Am I really ready for a relationship? Am I really ready? But the truth is, I was using that shit as a cop-out. I was really using that as a cop-out. Because let me tell you something. When the right person comes along, you're gonna be fucking ready. Because there's no real perfect time. You understand? There's no real perfect time for some shit to pop up. When that person when that person pop up, hey, you gonna jump in that water head for you ain't gonna give a fuck if you don't know how to swim or not. Boom! I'm about to learn in that bitch. Cause true love, you can't drown. You can't drown in true love. You'll learn how to breathe in it before you drown. What I learned, y'all, I wasn't sad. because I wanted it to work out. Man, this is about to hurt. I was sad because I got comfortable. I got comfortable with embrace. I got comfortable with being able to sit in the car and talk to somebody for hours. I got comfortable with entertaining the thoughts of what if. I got comfortable. It's about to hurt me. Lord, guard my heart. Please put a bandage over my heart with this one. I got comfortable with the possibility of settling again. Because I knew that this man is not the one for me. And I hate to say this, he was more like a little practice boyfriend than anything else. And that's not to demote him. I honestly and truly wish him the best. I pray that God gives him his equal. I just knew I wasn't it. And I respected that. But I could feel myself slipping into the comfortability of settling. What is going on with my stuff being like reversed? Magical shapeshifter. Number 7, 5 plus 2 is 7. Or maybe the deck, maybe I just had the deck upside down. Yeah, I did, y'all. I'm going to just read it upright in reverse. $52. Spirit orchestrates everyone's destiny. So this is like the Wheel of Fortune. Talks about making you aware of the people who come into your life to impact your personal growth. Perhaps you may meet a soulmate whose presence invites you to be the best you that you can be, or someone who leads you out of difficulty and into a place of safety and success. Pay attention to those individuals who cross your path today because you to reflect on today and cause you to reflect on your journey. Be awake and aware, and you'll recognize them for the important change agents that they are. Your whole perspective about who you are and why you're here will shift. The magical shapeshifter always initiates you into a better version of yourself. Reversed, it may bring you the opposite of what you seek. Perhaps you're in denial about your situation or refuse to see the truth. Or maybe you've been traveling down a path that has constantly led you to a field of poppies where you fall asleep and dream of desires that never find their form. To have the life you really want, you must match its vibrational energy and resonate with it. Sometimes our greatest hurts and disappointments are what awaken us to our need to shift to a higher frequency. If your heart aches because someone is breaking it, this discomfort will lead you to a more authentic life. Don't linger in pain or blame the magical shapeshifter for alerting you to the illusions you clung to. Know that treasure lies elsewhere and can be recovered once you've healed the wound that is reflected in those who come to you as a catalyst for growth. As you experience yourself transforming into the highest version of yourself, you'll come to understand that you're always fortunate when you meet up with a magical shapeshifter. Let me say this. Some of you are watching this video. This is my closing statement. Some of you witches and warlocks are watching to hurry up and see what the next spell you can try to conjure up. Let's keep her in heartache. Let's keep her in heartbreak. It won't work. And fortunately for your dumb ass, you will be heaping that fire on your own head. So therefore, I can't worry about you and give you too much shine in this life. However, I must stay true to me and tell on my own self. The truth of the matter is that I've been kind of sort of waiting for a specific person to come forth. I won't go into details, but just know that as of last night, I made a true and honest, conscious decision to honestly move on with my life. I don't know who I'm going to end up with. All I know is I deserve to be happy. I'm worth waiting for. And I have to learn how to trust God's divine timing. Rushing something will only cause a wreck. And I don't want a wreck. So this is where I take my hands off. This is where I no longer want to ride. I don't want to drive. So I'm pulling the car over and I'm getting out. If I'm supposed to walk or be a passenger, it's fine by me. I just don't want to fucking drive. I'm tired of this cross country back and forth within my heart. I'm not a truck driver. I don't have a CDL license, so therefore I give up the wheel. I just want to rest. My only problem is this. This is my only fear when it comes to love. Finding love, being in love. My only fear is me. But in my head, I was afraid that I don't want to get so independent to where when the right person shows up, I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm afraid because I know how I am when I get to that place. I don't want to, I'm like, no. Right guy, wrong time. You know what I'm saying? You ever got to that place to where it's like me right now, I've worked for my peace. I've toiled for my peace. So just come in my life and really fuck it up. Like there's no way that I'm just gonna, at this point in my life, I'm not tolerating anybody's shit. Not even my own. And that's why I keep pressing the button on my own self. Like I keep pressing the alarm. You know, like deal or no deal. The banker keeps calling me and saying, hey, look, you did all this work. You want to cash out now or do you want to keep going? And I just keep pressing no deal. Even though I really want to cash out and just stop right here because this shit's too painful. But I guess I signed up for something else because my ass just keep pressing no deal. This is painful, y'all. I can't see how people can be just so fucking jealous. Like I can't see how people can be jealous of other people's walks, man. Y'all have no idea what folks go through behind the scenes, bro. Pray for your readers. Pray for your healers. Pray for your root workers, man. We carrying y'all in the spirit and ourselves. This shit ain't for the weak. It's not for the weak, y'all. I don't know what the future holds. At this point, I'm tired of trying to even look at and figure it out. I just blind all the eyes and the ears of my enemies so they won't see shit. I don't give nobody permission to look in my life, whether you're a friend or a foe. Unless you gonna come to me and help me in the 3D or even in the spiritual realm. But without my permission, don't look at my shit. I done came too far, man. So I want to share that with y'all. I'm not willing to settle. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thine art with me. Dragon's lair. Being protected no matter where you are. And look, my hands just so happen to have went right there. New levels, new devils. That's basically what that means. And look what we're ending with. Commitment. Wow. Well, first I commit to God. Then I commit to myself. Everybody else, I'll let the chips fall where they may. See, now I will say this. This is where I kind of get a little cringy with my own self. This is where I make my own self cringe. Because I know when I'm in air sign mode, I can get real cut-off-ish. Like I just I'm cutting off everybody. Arms, legs, limbs, deers. Like I just, because I know I don't be with the shits, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard for air signs that once we become detached to reattach. And I'm working on maintaining my capacity to feel. Because I have a way of like shutting myself down when I don't want to feel. I'm still working on it, y'all. So pray for me. Don't pray on me. Before y'all go to bed, say a prayer for me, please. Because I'm really trying to restore my ability to feel again. Because I'm just tired of crying. That's really the truth. Tired of being disappointed. I'm tired of disappointing myself. And I'm tired of being fucking disappointed. So things got to change. And that's starting with me. So I hope my vulnerability has helped somebody. It can be scary and hard to be vulnerable with yourself first because you kind of have to uncover the monster within. You have to uncover the shadow. And the truth is, I think I'm scared of love. I know how to give it. Not a problem. But receiving it and actually believing that it's true and pure from another heart, that's some scary shit. I think healing must take place. Because I know that I wouldn't harm anybody. But it's hard to believe that someone has a heart like yours on the other side of you and it actually be genuine. That's a hard thing to believe that it exists. And I'm starting to feel like, I don't know. I'm glad that I know how to not settle. I'm glad that I mastered that. That's beautiful. But I'm just afraid that I feel like, am I now at a place where I don't know how to let people in anymore? It's hard, right? I don't know. I guess I'll find out soon. Nevertheless, c'est la vie. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I gotta go. I'm tired. That was then. This is now. As y'all lay down, I pray that, and as y'all walk in love, I pray that all of your high vibrational desires come true right before your very eyes. With love and sincerity, I pray for thee. Y'all be safe. Don't be like me. Be better than me. Skip around that. Don't shut yourself off, y'all. Don't shut yourself off to love. It exists. It's real. It exists. All right. I'm gone. I'll see y'all later, all right?